Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back to our episode here at HypnoPro Accelerator. My name is Kimberly, and joining me today is my partner, Whitney Christina,
Hello.
and our guest, Becky. How are you today, Becky?
Hey, Kimberly. Hi, Whitney. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Today, we are going to be talking and deep diving into what Becky does and how she can help you, our brand new certified professional hypnotists. Welcome to HypnoPro Accelerator, the podcast set to transform your hypnosis business. I'm Kimberly Lynne, and alongside my partner, Whitney Christina, we're your co pilots in the fast lane to success for professional hypnotists. Join us as we explore the art of building a thriving hypnosis practice. We'll discuss captivating offers, effective client communication, and share our own insights from the profession. No gimmicks, just practical strategies from two experts who understand the world of professional hypnosis inside and out. So grab your coffee or something stronger we won't judge and settle in and get ready to accelerate your hypnosis business like never before. It's time to take your practice to new heights. Let's make it happen. All right, everybody. So, first off, Becky is an amazing human being that has a lot to share with us. So, first of all, Becky, I would love you to just do, a brief introduction. What is it that you do and how long have you been doing that?
Yeah, thank you. My background is photography. I am an empowerment photographer. I'm all things empowerment, female empowerment specifically. I am specialized in boudoir photography. I call it breakthrough boudoir because I pair mindset with helping you really see yourself in a new way. And I also am a coach and I have a virtual co-work space called Work on Purpose with Purpose, which is all around helping you get into action and stay focused on your vision and your goals while you're growing personally in your business. And those are the two main things that I do. I'm also a podcaster and a speaker. And everything that I do is to empower and connect women to be seen, heard, and really celebrate the impact that we make in our worlds.
Fantastic. That is why I feel like so resonant with you because I also am all about empowerment. And I feel like it's time for women to come step forward and be leaders in a lot of places in our world that we haven't been leaders. So, what is maybe one of the biggest struggles that you see when you're doing boudoir, but you're also doing mindset? What are some of the things that you see consistently that women who come to you typically struggle with?
I've been doing photography for over a decade, specializing in the boudoir industry for over 7 of those years now, and really the consistent piece is looking at what they say about themselves in their head, because I learned through my time as a photographer that I can take as beautiful a picture of someone
Mhm.
as possible, and the reality is whatever they're telling themselves in their head is going to trump whatever they see in the photo, because if they're telling themselves they're ugly or this or that, then that's what they see, right? It doesn't matter what we as outsiders see, it's what you tell yourself. So that mindset of confidence in who they are and loving the skin that they're in is definitely the number one thing. And it could be about a scar or something very specific on their body that they don't like, but the overarching thing is that there's something that my clients are really anxious about or have doubt about in some way that I get to build their confidence through the mindset work leading up to the photo shoot, really getting to know more about their insecurities so that I can support
Mhm.
them and really help them shift their mindset around the beauty that they have versus thinking about those negative aspects that they have in their mind.
Yeah. What so those all sound like such common struggles that my personal clients typically deal with, but also maybe the brand new hypnotists, the people that are listening to this podcast, everybody really does struggle when it comes to focus and attention being on us. All struggle with insecurities. So,
Yeah.
what would be maybe the one thing that you would want to say to all the women that might come to you for Boudoir, but also people that need to step out, need to be in front of. What are the things that you see people struggling with, and what do you want them to know?
Well, a big part for me that I've saw and experienced myself has been, putting on that frame of mind to start the day. The struggle I think is that we are going through our days just running through them, right?
Yeah.
And getting to slow down and really set the pace for myself in the morning has been one of the things that I bring to my clients is like, do you have a morning routine? Do you have a way that you fill yourself up? And I use a lot of affirmations and just words of positivity to really remember who I am. So I'm a big personal growth junkie
Yes.
and I love to learn about myself so that I can better support the people that work with.
Yeah.
And I think that the morning routine and really setting my own tone for the day and how I approach my day has been a game changer. And that's probably the number one thing that it sounds so basic and it is, right? Like how we start our day is one of the foundational ways that you continue to move through it unless you're conscious enough to catch it and shift it during the day. But starting it off in a positive frame of mind has been the complete game changer for me, especially as a mom of 3.
Right. No kidding. I get that for sure. Because you have a full time, that makes you have two full-time jobs at least, right? Mom and working career woman. So yeah, two full-time jobs. You got to
Yes.
have a plan for sure. I know I have thoughts, but Whitney, I wanted to see what kind of questions you might have for Becky.
Yeah, when you were talking about starting your day, um, it just put in mind of bringing on your superhero, like having a superhero represent you
Yeah.
or a super powerful being. And so for me, as soon as you said that, I went to pulling up Beyonce. And you know how she struts and she walks and she struts, and there is nothing stopping her, right? And so when I need to be that. I just pull up my Beyonce superpower and strut. So I really recommend that. And I agree with Kimberly. In our practices, we see people, and you can just see the little Pac-Mans in the back of their head eating all of their kindness about them, or just, oh, I'm going to do this. And what makes you think you can do this crap?
Yeah.
And it's not true. And I have to ask you, would Beyonce put up with that? No. So let's go.
That's right. You know, Beyonce, she puts on a superhero. She puts on Sasha Fierce. So
Oh,
that's what she
there you
does.
go.
That's the name of her alter ego on stage is Sasha Fierce. So I don't know
Mhm.
where I read
Okay.
that a long time ago, but she does it too because that's not really who she is all the time. That's just her on stage. So she does it too.
So she
um,
didn't look like this?
that's right. But she put it on. So
Yeah.
good for
Mhm.
her. Good for her. Maybe we kind of skipped over it, but I'm kind of wondering, um, how'd you get into photography? And then how did you move from just photography and probably just thinking of I'm guessing at first you probably just thought of photography as like, I'm creating beautiful visual art for people. Oh, no, you didn't. How did you
Oh, yeah.
what was your mindset for you or how did that change for you? Tell me about that.
Yeah. So I got into photography after being what I call wrongfully fired from a retail job at the time.
Oh,
And I left all salty and, licked my wounds for a while trying to figure out like how, what am I going to do? I was young. I was in my like early 20s. So I was in this crossroads and, you know, I had someone ask me, what do you want to do with your life? Like, if you could do anything, what would you want to do? And, um, taking photos was the thing that came to mind because I've always been a child that had a disposable camera, taking photos, capturing moments. And at that time, the only experience I had with photography was that I had my senior pictures taken. And so I had no idea that photography was even something that people could make a living at or that it was a real career. Like I had none of understanding. I just answered the question from my heart, like, oh, I would take photos, I would do that. And so I started really small. I started going to did nature photography, I did wedding photography, I did newborn photography, portrait photography. I took all of the classes I possibly could and just started small like that, like figuring out why I was drawn to this. And then I had actually a childhood friend asked me to if I had ever done a boudoir session before, and I had never even heard of it. I told her that, and literally we grew up together. So I knew the insecurities that she had already. And her husband was away at boot camp. She really just wanted to send him a fun gift. And I was like, well, if you're willing to be my guinea pig, like let's
Yeah.
have some fun. And I watched her confidence totally change from just this really simple interaction and having a lot of fun together and really leaning into just enjoying ourselves and being willing to try something new. And I fell in love with that mindset shift, like watching someone that I fully knew had these gremlins and these self-doubts in her head about herself. And we were just really open and honest about how we were figuring things out. And from there, then I found a mentor specifically to teach me how to run a boudoir studio. Started really small, continued to think big about I don't want to just take photos of someone. I want to
Yeah.
help her change her life and her perspective about who she is and what she's capable of. And the power of a photo, being able to do that, that's one thing, but really working in my whole life, the backstory, right? The really simple backstory is that my whole life, my family and friends would always say, Becky, you're so bold. You're so confident. How do I get that? And I had zero idea that that was even like that there was something happening that other people didn't have. And it was
Yeah.
that confidence, that real of what I was saying in my head about who I am and that I'm important for this world, and that's not the same thing that everyone else was playing in their head. So it took me a long time to
Mm.
even hear people saying that was, something that I had that they didn't understand about themselves. Over the years, I pieced together by getting a mentor specifically for what I was looking to do. I had no idea that was a thing either, and then just kept researching it and being okay with being a beginner, I think was, like, a really big part of being a new business owner and just continuing to step through this over a decade of, like, figuring out what arena I wanted to play in my industry.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I heard so many things that I love. I too never realized for a long time that other people didn't have the same, like, I don't know what it is. It's just this, like, I'm just gonna do it kind of thing. Well, I didn't feel confident for a long time. I felt really insecure, but I would just go do stuff anyways. And so it did take me a long time to figure out what is like, I actually had to do the research after I became a hypnotist, like, what is different about the way I'm thinking than what other people think? And because sometimes things do come easier to some people, and being bold, it can be one of those, or being assertive, or whatever you think of any quality. And I too had to discover really what that was so that I could actually learn to help other people that, maybe didn't inherently have that as strong as a characteristic in their personality. Because as a hypnotist, that's really what where I see what I do is just really helping people be incredibly grounded in who they are. Like there is an unshakable self-identity that they are unapologetic for. And that's kind of my goal. And also, for what we're doing here and the training that we do for professional hypnotists is the same. Like everybody has something very special and unique to offer. And I want to help people be incredibly bold about who they are, whether they are like an in your face kind of person like me and everything they do is super bright and saturated, or it's mellow and chill. They still have that like really firm, grounded self-identity that is unshakable. And I guess you know what I mean? Like, so that's what I'm saying. So anyways, Whitney, what are your thoughts?
You know, I am also thinking about our hypnotists, and one of our mentors always says, "You are a hero to the hypnosis classes as they're graduating." And as I see my clients, I look at the changes that are brought about by doing the hypnosis. And I want to say to all of those hypnotists out there that are scared but going to do it anyway, do it anyway. They
Yeah.
need you. Just like what you're saying, Becky. people have these voices in their head telling them, no, you can't, or no, you shouldn't, or all these things that are just not right. And we need all of you to come out and just be who you are
Yeah.
fundamentally, confidently, and you're perfect just the way you are. Just do it. We need you. We need you. So just do it. And whatever we can do to help you to
Yeah.
succeed. That's what this is all about. Let's get everybody up there to succeed so that we can all help somebody else.
Yeah. I love how you do a very similar thing and you do it through
Mhm.
photography and we do it through relaxation and guidance and like just different tools, but the same results. You know what I mean? Becky, what were you going to say, Whitney?
I was gonna say, but I hear what Becky is saying. Like she sees them with her special eye,
Yeah.
and we see them through our special eye. I think it's the same kind of, it's even artistic when you look at people and you just see them for who they truly are, even though they don't realize who they are yet, or they're still listening to the voices. It's you seeing them and
Yeah.
acknowledging them and recognizing them and that spark in them that allows them to come to life.
Yeah. I 100% agree with you. I have had this as a thought that I didn't really have a other time to share it. But yes, being a hypnotist is incredibly creative. There is a very creative, powerful force that you have to have in your brain to do it, just like you would need something similar to see the unique, special angles, qualities, personalities, and bring those out in somebody in photography as well. I think it's very similar. One's
Mhm.
visual and one is, I don't know, let's say cognitive. But they're both a study. They're both a study of a person and helping them bring out their personal best qualities. So I think that they are very similar for sure.
I love
Um,
that. I
yeah.
love that. I think that that's really true, and I've done, some, like, NLP classes and
Mm.
stuff because I resonated with the work that I've heard some people, in my area that are hypnotherapists doing, and I'm like, "Wow," like, it's so cool 'cause again, I'm a personal growth junkie, so I was like, "Bring me to the class. I wanna know more about
Yeah.
this mindset, and this how to help people, stronger." And I didn't go through certifications or anything, but I think that you're right. It is this and presence was really coming with me, like, to me, like, I'm really present with my clients, and you have to be very present with your clients, as you're working
Yeah.
through I don't know if you call them clients, but, the people
Yep.
that you work with, right? Like, it's a presence that really is there when we're working with them that, yeah, we get to, really learn about who they are in a really authentic way that, um, is I like that you
Yeah.
said a study of them. That's really interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
I yes, and I think it really is. Like, I mean, I'm sure you do this too, and I'm sure Whitney does this too, but I always look for, it's easy. In fact, I don't have to look for just one. They all just fly at me, but I'm like, what is the thing that I love about this person? Like, what do I love about them? Who
Mhm.
are they? And so, yeah, I do get to study them. And I was thinking too, as you were talking about how your brain works and everything, I was like, I wonder if Becky identifies as neurodivergent because I feel like that's one of the things that sometimes draws people into a field where we study others and we do like we want to help work one on one sometimes, but we study humans. You do it. Your vehicle is transformational, it's emotional, but it's also visual. Ours is emotional and verbal, but they're all studying others. They're all finding those unique qualities and we're just bringing them out through different tools, but we're doing a similar work and we're actually helping them in very similar ways emotionally. So I wonder often thought that neurodivergent people that aren't built just like everybody else have to study a little harder when we're younger to learn about how other people think, and maybe that's what draws us, but I don't know, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've never actually, like, understood, like, what the neurodivergent, like, title it really is, but I've always been like when I heard people talk about it, I'm like, "Could be. Could be," like,
Yeah,
what I know about it, so I can't say here or there. But
fair.
yeah, I'm very much a study kind of person, and it's funny because I didn't dive into personal growth until I was 30 years old. Like, I was a late person to the game. I never read books in school, like, any of that. So once I learned how I like to learn, and the way that and the things that I want to learn once I found what I'm passionate about, which is, I mean, I think I study myself more than other people. So,
Mhm. Mhm. Well, I think through self-awareness, we come to understand other people, but I agree with you. And then I'm gonna let Whitney talk, but I do wanna say I was a late bloomer too. I did not I remember as a kid thinking like, "I don't what? Why are they like that? Like, I don't get it." But then when I hit my mid-20s and early 30s, I was, like, reading the books by the CIA body language people and the lie detector people, right? That they're like, "They're
it was
lying because the micro expression people." I was reading all of that, like, 10, 12 years before I became a hypnotist. It was just always once I became an adult, a very special interest to me. Like, how do people work? Why do they work? Why? Like, I needed to know why. And so that, I don't know. I think, anyways, what about you, Whitney? Were you always kind of a person that wanted to know how people worked?
No, I was not. What my background's a little different in that I grew up and my family just said they learned solo mind control when mind control was not a bad thing. And so I grew up with, well, if you don't like it, just change it. And so
Oh,
I went through my entire life changing it. When I ended up going to like 15 different schools by the time I graduated. In every school, I got to see what I liked, what I didn't like, and then I would integrate those skills in. So I have a lot of practice changing it. And then when I was an adult, I was like, well, why don't you just change it? What do you mean you don't know how to change it? Wait, what? And so I just have this passion for helping people change it, looking at them and seeing that diamond underneath, just kind of excavating that. And you can even kind of hear when they sit down across from you, you can hear the negative voices that are coming through. And it's really amazing when you tell them, oh, you know, the voice that's telling you, well, why do you think you can do this? Who do you think you are? That voice, do you know that voice is lying to you and none of it is true and that you're everything you need to be? And the shock, the disbelief. And then when they come to really own that, it's it's beautiful. It's transformational. And that's why I do it. But it's because what? You don't know how to change it?
you learned
What?
early, but I see a theme. I see all of us going, "Hey, I have this thing that
Mhm,
I really love, and I want to share that with other
mhm,
people. That feeling of freedom or confidence or being beautiful and being comfortable in your skin or, like, so I see that that's a theme here. And so I just want to shout that
yeah.
out to us, and we're all just going to pat ourselves on the back. Good for
And
us.
and another theme I think too is that we all see and empower and encourage and
Right.
just the potency, people's potency, who they
That's
are,
right. That's right.
their potency all the
Beautiful.
way.
I
I
love
feel like
that.
that is yes, go ahead.
Can I just share? I think a big part too that we're kind of touching around is action. Like you sharing about the
Mhm,
schools, what you were gathering information. So right there was a thinking process happening. You were collecting the information and then you utilized it, right? To improve your experience because I mean, as a
mhm.
child, you don't have control over how many times you move probably. So
Right.
right? Like you supported yourself by taking in the information and then
Mhm.
taking, the good parts with you so that you could improve on it, which is the action, right? You implemented what you were learning and the things that you were receiving and the input that you were gathering, but then it's the clarity of that we're all taking action. And I think that's where as business owners, we do the things that scare us, step by step, like small things daily that we're doing is because we're taking the information that we're the feedback that we're getting from our day to day, and we're taking one of those things with us step by step, right? So, yes, I've
Mhm.
been a photographer for over a decade, and I have this whole process of mindset work leading up to a photo shoot. I didn't have that the whole time, right? It was a building that was
Right.
happening along the way, and it was just getting started, starting small, really thinking on a larger scale of like, how can I help more women? How can I bring more confidence into the world with what I'm doing. And then taking those action steps to just say, like, confidence comes from what we do and, like, taking the steps.
You said the thing. You said the thing. You said this thing that we say in our group, confidence comes from doing. And it is a phrase that I
Mhm.
say over and over again to my clients because you're 100% right. I want to say,
Mhm.
ding, ding, ding. That is exactly right. That information isn't enough. You have to take action on the information. And for some reason, I have been able to do that maybe more easily in some areas because everybody struggles. But in there's the areas that I get to help people were the areas where it was just like, well, I guess I'll just do it. Right. Like that's just I was just like, well, and Whitney too. She's like, well, I guess I'll just change it. And you're right. It's all about action. And confidence doesn't come from just receiving information. It really comes from taking action, finding out what works, growing, becoming better at something. It's about action. So 100% agree.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful point.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
one of
having
the
the picture of what you want it to be in your head, right?
Mhm.
Having that picture, that vision, even though you don't think you can do it, but that's just your superhero. You can't do it, but your superhero can. So just take one step.
Yeah, I love that, and I was gonna say one of my fears when I was starting out as a speaker was public speaking. I had an actual fear of public speaking, which I know this is very common as well. And one of those building blocks as a new business owner, like, I wanted to get more comfortable with speaking, and I started bringing the conversation of making fear my best friend and really putting on this mindset shift of when I feel what some people would label as anxiety or nervousness, it's doing the same thing as excitement in our body, and I always point that
Yes.
out to people that it's
Yeah.
what story we give it. So instead of, like, putting a persona on, I just really started bringing conversations to the table to say, well, when you're telling yourself that you have fear on something, look at it in a different way to say, okay, this isn't an actual, like, danger to you. This is
Yeah.
a mindset that we get to control to say, I'm actually really excited. I'm thinking about all of the lives I'm going to change when I step out on stage and the impact this is going to make and that ripple effect. It's very energetic and exciting, and right, some of us, me included, would label it as, "Oh my gosh, I can't do that. I have so much fear around it." And that was one of the ways that I harnessed, as a business owner, growing personally, was just stepping out little by little in a safe place that I knew I was gonna mess up. I literally cried for 20 minutes, my first public speaking opportunity. So, like, you can change. Here,
There you
it can
go.
happen.
That's so cute.
It was not cute, Kimberly. It was
Oh,
not
no,
cute.
but it
It was
is because you know what? I always think, "Oh," when I see or hear things like that, I'm like, "Oh, what a cutie, like, you did it, like, you look at you go, like, way to go
Yes.
you. Way to go, little Becky," however old she was, the littler one, like, she did great, and now here you are because little Becky made that change, and it's a beautiful thing, and so, it's about perception, is what I hear you saying. It's about the story that you tell yourself, and
You give it meaning.
Mhm. And that's what we do as hypnotists too. So you're helping people shift and change the story about those just those chemicals surging through their little bodies when they're excited. And what is the label you're going to put on that? You get to choose every moment of your day. You get to choose what label you put on those feelings. And so what story are you going to tell? What story are you going to have your life be about? So, yeah.
It's the fear/excitement you have when you're going down with your at the top of the hill of the roller coaster. You've got fear,
Yeah.
but is that fear or is that excitement? Because here you go.
Yep.
That's
Yep.
anticipation for sure.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Oh my goodness, we are at like 30 minutes, so I think we better wrap it up. But this has been fantastic. Thank you, Becky, for being our guest. Thank you for being our very first guest that we've ever
Kimberly.
recorded. And we are going to have all of your information in the show notes, but I want to give you an opportunity to let people know where they can find you, connect with you, like take advantage of any of the things that you're doing, your coaching, maybe they're local to you. So how can they find you?
Yeah, thank you. My website is my name, beckyplautz.com. That's Plautz. And you can find me on social medias by my name. And I do have a podcast as well that you can check out called Choose on Purpose. So I love that you were just talking about
Oh,
how
nice.
everything's a choice and the power of giving those things meaning. So my podcast is Choose on Purpose. I do have a freebie that I'll send over, which is your next right step. It's a worksheet to just write out like where you might be getting stuck, get some quick clarity, and move into action to take a step toward what you need to do right now in your life. So I'll share that with you.
Awesome. Thank you
That's
so
awesome.
much. All right. Well, like, subscribe, stay for more. We're putting out new episodes
Invite friends.
every week. That's right.
Right.
Invite friends. All
Invite.
right.
Invite.
Thank you so much. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.